Hi guys, I'm Rohit and this is my review of the Anki Vector app. The Vector review couldn't have been complete without reviewing the app since it's the only way to set them up and you have to go through this ordeal before being able to do anything with Vector. I've already made a comprehensive review of Vector and you can find a link to that in the description below.
When you open the app, the first screen will have two options to log in or register, and once you're past that, this is the screen that most of y'all will be stuck on. To save some of your time, make sure your phone is connected to a 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. You don't really need the app to communicate with Vector since voice commands are mostly enough for the same. But the app gives you details of Vector's vitals like the distance covered so far, what he is currently doing, whether he's connected to Wi-Fi, changing basic things like the temperature units, color of his eyes, volume levels, going through the photos he's clicked so far, and static information like the commands he can listen to. I'm being very honest, but the app is the worst part about Vector. They should have really put more time into it rather than rolling out something that looks like it's been designed and developed by a bunch of inexperienced undergrads as their college project who are going to get a maximum of B- upon submission. It's hard to believe this is the same company that made the Vector. There are genuine bugs while setting up, and only if you're extremely lucky will the app be able to find and connect Vector in your first attempt. I don't think it's just me. The Play Store comment section is full of complaints regarding issues about the same. Though when I say this, I'm only talking about the Android version of the app. I'm not really sure if the iOS version is any better. After just over a minute of searching for Vector, you should see the screen. At this point, try restarting your Bluetooth connection. If that doesn't work, kill and restart the app. In spite of all that, if you still can't connect and get to the screen, I think it's time you restart your phone. This is what the app looks like once you get through and are able to connect. You can see it's very poorly designed just off the first few seconds of looking at it. There are two tabs, sensory feed and stats. Because of the black background of the graph and the tab, it's difficult to know which one of the tab is selected. If you notice, there's another stats next to utilities which is redundant. So stats gives you information about whatever vector is done since he's come to life, and it keeps updating as you continue to use vector. Another reason I call this app poorly designed. At this point, if you notice, there is no back button to go back to the main menu, and I have to rely on the native Android buttons to go back. The main menu has exactly 6 buttons, and let me walk you through each one of those starting with the utilities. The top right corner this time has a cross button to close the submenu and go back, which was absent in the stats menu seen before. I'm not going to go through each option in here since all of them have nothing but static information about commands for each functionality, except for the vectors photos menu, which I'll come back to later. If you click on set a timer, you can see the static information I mentioned earlier, but the bad part is the inconsistency of the back button across the app. This time it has a back button and not a cross, both of which were absent in the stats menu. All the menus below have nothing but static information in them. The more you explore, the more static information you find. There are no videos or animations but just more static information. Forget the design and the user interface, but I feel the main menu could be named and grouped a little better to give the user a more simpler and enhanced user experience. The settings section is one of the better designed parts of the app as compared to the main menu, which is sort of disappointing. Let me walk you through each of these options starting with networks. Not really sure why the app would disconnect in the first place to reconnect, but this is the section which shows which Wi-Fi vector is connected to, and you can search for another network if needed. Preferences lets you change the location, time zone, time format, distance unit, temperature unit, and language. Unlike any of the advanced assistants like Alexa or Google Home, you don't really have a section in the app which makes you say hey vector a couple of times so it understands you better. In case vector is having issues understanding what you're trying to say, try changing the language. Now that's not what I found, but what the manual says. They should have named it accent then language so it would have made more sense. Again, I have to rely on native Android buttons to go back. Account management shows you the email that you logged in with and an option to change the password. Updates is where you check for updates for vector, and about and cube status have some more static information. There are 6 color options to choose from for his eyes, and there is very little delay when you actually do it. Volume of course lets you change how loud vector is going to get, but I did notice putting him on the highest setting makes him drain his battery pretty soon. At times I wanted to reduce the volume but wasn't able to get into the app because it couldn't find vector. Trust me, it can get pretty annoying, and the only option at that point is to turn vector off. All the pictures that Vector clicks can be accessed through Vector's photos. Again, this is poor use of space and has very little information about the photos. Even loading the photos takes time, and that's something very basic that should have been taken care of. This is what it looks like when you click on a photo. There's the delay again, which shouldn't have been there at all, especially for such a low quality photo. I thought this happened only once, but you can see me reproduce the same issue every time I open a photo. Things get even worse when you try and delete a picture. It doesn't even ask you for a confirmation, and once you hit delete, the picture is permanently lost. I'm not really sure why someone would even want to export such a poor quality image, but this is how you do it. If you've already exported the image, it shows a toast message saying photo exported. That toast message is the default Android toast message that they're using here. They didn't even care to make a custom toast, which shows how much they really cared about the app. The app overall, from a UI point of view, isn't exactly what a good app should look like, and they either had a time constraint or incapable resources which led to this final product. I hope they make improvements, or in this case, redesign the app completely in the near future. Let me know what your opinion is about the same in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, hope you guys have liked it, and see you next time.